Do you ever play a game of chess where you blunder a pawn super early in the game for no reason and you go, dang it! But then you make a brilliant sacrifice and turn those tables right around? Well, if you want to see how I did just that, make sure you stick around. We're going to start this game off with a little c3 Alpine Sicilian, c3, d4. My opponent plays c6. Now here you have the option to take on c5 and, trade the queens, get into this slightly better endgame where you've got good development, the king can't castle, and you're doing pretty well. But instead, I decide to go more towards the development approach. I play knight f3, bishop f4, cleanly hang the e4 pawn. Quickly hang the e4 pawn. Oh yeah, we're off to a good start here, aren't we? that e4 pawn, bye-bye, it's gone. Now, you see the eval says that it's still equal even though I'm down a pawn, if not a slight edge for white. Now that's because I've got better development, and what my opponent has just wasted time in the opening grabbing this pawn and is probably going to have to move the bishop back and waste more time. Meanwhile, I'm going to develop my pieces, castle, get my rook to the open file, and just tear apart the position attacking the king. So let's see. I play knight d2, kick the bishop back, bishop d3 developing, and I castle. We have e6, and I go ahead and take in the center. Why do I, well, not the center, but kind of the center, the pseudo center. I take on c5, trying to open up the position to get to his king and take advantage of the fact that I've got better development. So I play bishop b5, and after bishop blocks, queen a4. Queen a4 simply was just kind of intimidation tactics. It's, obviously there's just bishop takes, and like queen blocks, and I got nothing. I don't want to trade queens because I'm down a pawn, and I would just be down a pawn in an endgame, right? So I'd have to keep the queens on, but then like bishop e7, and he's going to castle, and that's kind of lame. But instead, my opponent plays bishop back to d7. And ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime. I thought, oh, now I've got him. He's scared, huh? He's scared. You see, it's a mistake because I got knight c4. Oh, yeah, look at that. I'm piling up on the d6 pawn here, which is now only defended by the dark squared bishop because you blocked your queen's eyes from seeing that pawn. And now I'm threatening to win it. My opponent plays e5. You see, a fatal error, because now I have the brilliant bishop takes e5, sacrificing the bishop to get my knights in here and start tearing apart the position. And the rooks are coming. I got two open files here in the center that are looking mighty tasty. That king, oh man, this king, toast, absolute toast. So let's see what we got. Let me turn off our feedback here. I just wanted to show the great and brilliant moves. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say, if you are enjoying this video, it would mean a lot to me if you hit the like button and subscribed as well. Being a small channel, those things can really help me out with the algorithm and getting these videos shown to more people. So if you enjoyed this content, that would mean a lot to me. All right, back to the video. I go ahead and play after bishop e7, my opponent's desperately trying to castle, right? Get the king out of dodge. But I play rook a d1, pinning the light squared bishop to the queen. So now you can't do this. You've lost your chance. Because I would take here with check, and then here with check, and just win. So you can't do that. Instead, my opponent castles. Now here I just win back the piece, right? Takes, and takes. And now I'm up a pawn. Basically, in terms of material, I am up a pawn, but I am winning because it is like plus 3.5. Why? Well, I mean, look at my piece coordination. Like the rook on the 7th, this rook coming in, the knight's already all up in his business, the queen is in. It's GG practically. I mean, this pawn is hanging as well. It's bad news for black. Bad news bears. We have queen e8, which is not good because I play rook here. Rook e8, pinning the other bishop to the queen. You see, earlier, I was pinning the light squared bishop with rook a to d1, and now I pin the dark squared bishop with rook e1 here. Look at this. So the queen moves, and I take the bishop. There's no way to avoid losing the bishop here. So now it's plus 4. Okay. Let's see what happens. We have queen f4, looking to get some kind of back rank mate, even though that is quite well defended at the moment. But to avoid any headaches with that, I just play g3. And after check, I don't really care. I just move my king to g2, and there's no more checks. We have rook here. This hangs mate, fully. I missed it. I probably shouldn't have missed it, but there's rook takes here, and if you take back, then queen, you can sacrifice the queen, which is quite pretty. You got to take, and it's mate. I missed that. I shouldn't have. Looking at it now, I'm like, it's all forced moves. I should have seen it. Instead, I played this. Why? Because the rooks look funny. Don't they? I mean, they're staring at each other. They're having a little tea party. And this one's fighting this one. I don't even know what's going on. I mean, this weird pattern of the rooks. He takes here. I take. And it's mate once again. After rook back, all I have to do... Well, first of all, I played this, right? I did not see the mate. It's still +6, completely winning. But there is a crazy sequence here that the engine shows that just when I went through this, analyzing the game, I could not believe that this happened in the game. Like, the opportunity to have this happen in the game happened. What you have to do is play knight d6. Sacrificing the rook back in order to play queen c4. You can't go to f8 because you get mated, right? So you have to go to h8. And now here, if you've done Puzzle Rush enough times, you see, yes, you have a fork, but it's also more than that. It's a smothered mate tactic because you give the check, the king moves, knight h6, double check. You can't go here, right? Because it's mate, so you have to go back, and then queen g8. You have to take with the rook because the knight defends, so your king can't take. And then knight f7, smothered mate. That's all forced. That is all forced. I missed it, which is very sad. If I found that, I would have... I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. Something... I would have, like, ran a marathon or something just for no reason. I can't run a marathon, but I would have gotten so much, like, superpower from this smothered mate if I found it that I would have been able to run a marathon. That's how insane this was. Anyway, we go into this endgame where I just take a couple more pawns, and I am up a knight and a million pawns, right? So let's see what I do here. I start giving a bunch of checks, purely because, one, I was seeing, like, maybe I can mate him somehow, and two, I was hoping to get a queen trade that I could force. Like, give a check that also, like, hits the queen, forcing the queen trade into a winning endgame. Well, it is winning, but, like, an easier endgame. So I start giving random checks, and I start pushing the pawn. Right? He attacks my knight, big whoop, I go back, and he goes here, and you see he's starting to try, he's trying to start some kind of attack with this flank pawn and the queen, which I am not the least bit scared of. So I go here, give a check, and push the pawn. Is that a free pawn? Yes, but then I get the queen trade, right? I get the queen trade here. So instead, my opponent plays queen c6 check, where I go queen d5 counter check, which forces the queen trade anyway. And you see my opponent resigned here just because he knows this is completely lost. His only hope was having that queen on the board and hoping I blunder like everything. But, I mean, with these pawns and the knight, you're not saving this game. But if you're low enough rating, you should play on until checkmate, because there's a chance your opponent may lose all the pawns and get checkmated himself, or stalemate you. So keep playing, but... yeah, with this +30 here, I think my opponent felt pretty confident that I would be able to mate him, so he resigned. All right, well, hey, if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to thank you, as always. If you did like the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe as well. I would appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.